Okay, so today we're looking at how to do a quick sketch to get a sense of composition, and also then how to translate that quick sketch into a final composition. So a quick sketch is actually something that's very small. You set up a small frame on your page that represents the proportions of your page, and then it can also be, it could either be horizontal or vertical. That's landscape or portrait. So then I'm going to try and draw this in a couple different ways. First one, sense where I might want to place things, and you do very, very simple shapes. Okay, you're not want to do a full-scale drawing. You're just kind of saying, well, I want this to be about here. I want to see how that's going to work out. Okay, so that's basically the quick sketch, and then I'm going to lay in what I think are the darks, the darker areas, okay, in the composition. So that would be first quick sketch. Then maybe I might want to think about possibly doing it this way. Okay, so then I would say, well, maybe we'll get all this stuff in there. If I do, what's going to happen? I'm going to place the glass here, cup approximately here, and I'm going to have them slightly off the page, making the apple come about here, here. Look at the negative space there between the apple and the pear. Set that. Have the vase. Again, it's going to go slightly out of the page. This one. All right, and I can throw this apple in here. That's about how much time you should take on the quick sketch. Okay, and setting where the darks are going to be. Maybe I'll have some dark back here. Okay, so I'm kind of liking that one better than this one. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this for my composition, and in order to do that, I'm going to have to translate this to a larger page. And in order to have that happen, what I want to do is take one of these shapes and use the measurements of it to actually set the frame for everything else. Okay, so move this up here, set this in here. Okay, so the way you do that is actually you take measurements. Okay, so let me see. I don't know how this is going to translate what you're seeing, but if I use my thumb again to measure, all right, so I'm going to measure the apple. All right, I'm seeing it on screen just like you are. I'm measuring the apple, the width of it. And so this composition is going to be, let's see, 1, 2, so it's going to be about 1.5 wide. Okay. So, do it again. 1, 2, 3.5. So, realistically, if I actually break it into 4, okay, so I'm going to break this into 4 apples wide, and then take that measurement, okay, and then go up with it. So I want to see how many apples high this thing is. So if I start here, 1, 2, 3, actually start here, 1, 2, 3, a little more than 3 apples wide. That just seems a little off. Let me check it again. 1, 2, 3. So if that's true. 1, 2, 3, 4. My page is actually a little bit taller than what that was set up as, so it's throwing it off a little bit. Okay, so it's going to end up showing a little bit more of the vase than what I had here. Okay, so, and if it's wide, so if I give some space at the bottom, okay, and then I take this, and I go 1, 2, that's where the second apple is going to end. And let's say, relative to this, I'm going to place this apple about here, okay, and it's going to be slightly taller than it is wide. Right, so something like that. All right, so I'm going to set that up, kind of frame that. Then I'm going to put this cup, it starts here, I'm going to set that right over here. Okay, and it goes a little bit above this, something like that. I'll put the space before I put the pear in here. The pear relative to here, okay, it's higher than this, and there's there's not quite an apple space in between, and the pear is about the same width as the apple. Okay, so the pear is going to end about right here, and I had it in here, I had it actually going off. But to kind of look at what's actually there, it's going to be kind of staying in the page to a certain extent, it looks like. Okay, and again, it's ending just about where the apple is. So I'm just going to suggest really quickly where that's going to go. Okay, how's that looking? Okay. And then now I'm going to set the vase. The vase starts, the center of it starts about here, and you just draw a straight line up. Hey, you guys, chatter to a minimum, please. Okay, so then I'm going to figure out about 1, 2, so about 2 at this line. 1, 2. That's about where the widest point of the vase is. And go the same distance across. What's what? Go down a little bit. Okay, and then you should have a curve at the bottom. Curve up here. Set the top of it. And it's going to kind of round off the page, which is what I was shooting for. Okay. So, and then the last little apple is going to go between here and here. It's going to be slightly above this. Okay, so what I want to do now is just check a few things. Let's just check the shape of this a little bit. Try and get that to get a sense that that's the top of the apple. Okay, and then we go to the side of it. It's a lot narrower at the bottom. And then pull the shapes of this out just a little bit so I can see it a little bit better. I'm not going to try and shade this in. I'm just trying to set up the composition. And that's what I want you guys to work on today, is just figuring out a composition, trying to get the shape and space to work out right. And you know, when I'm done with this, I may go, I don't love this composition as much as I thought it might. But it allows me to get it set up pretty fast where I can decide how I like it and make changes as needed. Okay, so, but having that thumbnail sketch got me the ability to kind of set it up, figure out how things were going to place, and then go in and work out the rest of it. Okay, so I'm just going to establish where lights and darks are going to fall. Yeah, again, primarily this whole apple in the end would be dark, but clearly still has a light and dark side. But I can kind of frame it up a little bit by establishing a little value for that and where the darkest area is going to go. Now in the end, we would do a much more extended drawing of this, taking more time to set it all up. But this is just about learning to take measurements to actually help to frame up compositions, set up your preliminary studies, and plan out how the composition is going to work out. You know, so I got a little shadow there. That'll have to set that into the space. So now what I liked about this was there's also there was dark in the background that again would help to frame up this upper area. Make an interesting overall compositional weight up here, offsetting all of this space down here. Okay, so there you go. That's just the rough idea that I'm wanting to see from you guys today for how the composition can lay out and how the space can be planned out with the thumbnail sketch. Again, doing thumbnail sketch to figure out where the space is going to go, and then doing the layout. And again, this is pretty fast. Normally you take a little more time with it, but I just wanted to kind of set up a framework for how you guys should be working today. Okay?